Previously. Can I say that again? Previously on The Ford Show.
With blood across his face, the American flag is placed perfectly, the clear blue sky. We have it as the little image next to the hashtag on Twitter. This will be this is an image, a still that you'll be seeing in history forever. This is a way to humanize Trump a little bit more and take those swing voters into one direction. And now we have part two of this. Now just in line with the story as it's going. Now the Democrats, their candidate somehow got this fake news virus again, and it's back, and he's out, and here comes somebody new. And like I said before, it's all going to come to Michelle Obama versus Donald Trump, and it's already been selected for you, folks. Your votes don't count, and enjoy Michelle Obama 2020.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Hello.
I want to talk to you. Okay, I come first.
What? They want to know now.
Over there after two.
Brown brush. I mean,
I was waiting for you to say it.
love goodness. We're like, how she always got to say you and you may clap.
And your answer is part of the job.
So.
Jesus.
Okay, she don't need that.
I'm sure.
Okay.
You're welcome. Pull out a Venn diagram.
Are you ready for 4 years of that cackling laugh? That's right. This is The Ford Show. It is July 25, and we are all the way live, baby. Welcome to the show, Gio DeGreat. I see you in the chat. Thank you for being here. What up, what up, what up? I am Ford. Madness is here. Madness?
Hey, you heard my prediction there from last time. Not looking as good as before. It looks like we might get the cackle queen. But, hey, what we learn about this kind of stuff is that nothing is for sure until it's for sure. So, hey, I was still going to go with my pick of Michelle Obama to be the president. But, hey, if it doesn't work out, at this point, honestly, I would after hearing that soundbite you played and what I've been hearing with that laugh, that cackle, and that just I will take Michelle Obama over that.
The Ford Show is coming to you live from the murdermydebt.com studio. You could head to murdermydebt.com to find out how you can get out of the hamster wheel of interest. That's right. Go to murdermydebt.com today.
Call Ford now. 855-499-FORD.
Hello. Can you hear me?
So we had before the show, we had a little issue with the call line. I think I got it fixed. But
yeah, you got it. You got it working because I'm trying to see if we want anybody to call in for our guests today.
Yeah.
Or in general.
It should be working. Yes. The guests tonight, Palace Samuel from the Gays Against Groomers organization. It's an organization. It's the New World Organization.
The New World Organization of Wrestling, brother.
The fight against the trans agenda. We're going to get into that. Gio DeGreat, Madness is my neighbor, NWO for life. I'll put that comment. That's a pretty good one. That one goes up. That one goes up.
Gio and I, I have a photo, and I'll share it next week for you, of him and I. We walked outside of each other's houses, and we're both wearing, and he was wearing an NWO shirt. And I got one look at him. I stopped suddenly in my driveway. I ran upstairs all the way to my room, and I put on the shirt, and I ran at him like a schoolboy, and I said, look, we got the same fucking shirts on, man. And we call ourselves now the Neighbor World Order.
Oh, there we go. Mm-hmm. Raging Rob is here as well. He's got a Raging Rob's Music Minute, the Gays Against Groomers, and we got all kinds of things that we want to talk. Oh, geez, it starts early. Here's 520. Can you hear me? Oh, see? This is the issue.
Uh-oh.
Issue.
We're advertising a phone line that isn't coming
And we have
through.
no phone line. It's not working. Hold on, 520. It says connected. It's only so much I can do.
We've had it before. We've had callers in before, so.
Yeah, it has worked in the past. Hold on there, 520. And of course, like I even tested it. I tested it before we went on to see if it was working. And it was working, and now it's not working. This is what happens, man. This is technology. And this is
520. This is Arizona.
Yeah. I'm trying to get him on. Hold on. There we go.
There we go. We got him.
520. I get 520.
We can hear
Hello?
you.
There you are. There you are. 520. Where's that? 520. Where's that zip code or area code?
Señor Ford, I'm in Tucson, then Arizona.
Okay.
He's in Tucson. I've been
Tucson.
I've been to
En
Tucson
Tucson,
before.
sí.
Tucson. Okay.
Sí, it's very hot.
Hold on.
Very hot.
Wait a minute. Hold on a
Okay.
second. Hold on a second. Time out. Time out.
Muy caliente, sí.
Menace, you don't know who this is. This guy called in during the presidential debate, right?
Sí, yeah, it's Mr. Ford. You know, it's Bonifacio.
Oh,
I called.
Yes.
I called last week.
yes.
I
No, it
called
wasn't.
last week.
It wasn't last week. It was last month. But who's keeping track? Go ahead,
Oh.
Bonifacio.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Pues, is my turn?
it's
Sí, Migo.
it's your turn. Go ahead. It's your
Okay.
show. It's your show.
Ándale.
Okay. Okay, pues, okay, I just, I driving home. I know I can talk, but okay, I just want to say,
Yeah.
yo sabe, I called a long time ago de que Biden no se termina, he no finish, ya se murió, he no alive no more, and we know, y they put ese puta Kamala in the White House, y my family we call her Kamala porque no está buena for this country, but I tell you what, okay, when the democracia is in the oficina, pues anyway, when the democracia is in el oficina, in Mexico, where the border, okay, they let everybody through, so it's not so bad. Porque if she becomes the presidente, okay, I still have a couple of cousins que in Chihuahua, okay, they come over here, so it's not all bad, but I still vote for Trump, but see, it's what it is, pero este pinche Biden and ese puta Kamala, it's no good. I bring my cousins anyway. She no good for nobody. She no good for nobody. Es un grande puta. Y she no good. Okay, so ándale pues putos. I go home. Okay, my kids, my wife. Okay, buenas noches putos. Good night.
Adios. He must have come through. If he's in Tucson, I imagine he came here from Mexico via Nogales up through Arivaca and into Tucson. That's usually the path they'll take. Nogales is a border city, and I'm guessing he climbed the wall and probably hid out in Arivaca. I've been there before. Look it up.
He thought it would just be another phone call. He's entering the world of tainted fiber optics. The fifth dimension is up ahead. Ford has just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Yeah. The same guy. This is why I hate the internet. because you get people like that who call you, and
yeah, that's great. What was his name? Esteban?
No, Bonifacio.
Bonifacio. I would like Bonifacio to return to the show. He made some good points about Kamala being a puta.
I just want to know where he's listening.
Well, if he's calling from 520, he's in Tucson.
Rodrigo Parga.
Oh God, what's that?
You got another call?
Yeah. Oh, Lord. Hold on. 520.
Sí, se me olvidó, Mister. I forgive me, pero I just want to say, y long live Vive Trump, okay? They shoot my president, okay? Esos putos in the roof, okay? Long live Trump. I vote for him. Y fuck you.
Okay. Well, I think our Hispanic friend Bonifacio.
Did you just say "fuck you"?
Yeah, he said we vote for Trump. Fuck you. He must know you're a liberal.
I'm not a liberal.
Yeah, you are. You told me you're voting for Kamala Harris.
Wow. All right.
Unless that's some shtick and some
ribbing.
Oh
yeah, no, I'm ribbing you.
Oh, that's what I
Can't
thought.
vote for that. Can't vote for that.
I you know what? I don't care. Normally I would just go on policy altogether, but with that laugh, I don't think I could do. I don't even care what her policies were if they all favored everything I liked. I just hearing that voice, I don't know. Whew. But we'll see. That might be what we're up against and what we're going to be subject to for 4 years potentially.
Yeah, we got a lot to get into. I was not expecting that. Against Groomers, they're coming up here in a couple of minutes to talk about the book, the Gender Trap. We're going to go to Rage and Rob before we go to them because Rage and Rob, I did not know he was going to, well, I don't want to give any spoilers, but we're going to go to Rage and Rob before we go to Palace and Samuel. They represent the California chapter of the Gays Against Groomers. So we're going to go to them in a couple of minutes. Madness. Kamala Harris is, she gets the shoe in. She doesn't have to do anything. She just gets anointed the Democrat of choice that's going to be on the ticket.
That's been one of the criticisms across the board here. Actually, not so much by the Democrats, but more by the Republicans, is that they're basically, they want to preserve democracy all they want, but they're really shitting it away by they're actually not getting a primary here necessarily. They're just kind of getting handed somebody that they don't get a choice on. And this was somebody like we talked last time that didn't even make it very far last time she was in the running for the Democratic primaries. So, I understand taking over now by law, by rule, based on the president. If he resigns, I'm just saying. If it was weird because Biden doesn't feel like the president, never has. That's what's weird to me. He's never felt like the president. Can you agree with that?
Yes. And Kamala Harris definitely hasn't felt like the VP.
No, this whole. Obama felt like the president. Trump felt like the president. Bush, Clinton, that felt like they were the presidents. But like when Biden got in, I don't know what it was, but it just felt like he was never the president. He wasn't doing. It was very strange. I can't put my finger on it without sounding like a raging conspiracy theorist.
We got your tinfoil hat. All right, let's go to Rage and Rob. You have it. I know I can see you reaching for it. There it is. All right, we're gonna go to Rage and Rob, and then we're gonna come back with Palace and I believe Samuel. I don't really I don't see him in the they're in the green room right now. I don't see Samuel in the green room, but I know we for sure have Palace here. Gays Against Groomers. Stand by. We're gonna talk about the book, The Gender Trap. It's this book right here that I hold in my hand, advanced copy, because that's how we do things around here. So we're gonna talk about the book and everything else right after Rage and Rob. Stand by.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program to bring you a special bulletin.
Listen up. It's time for Ragin' Rob's Music Minute.
You do want to be a part of that, don't you?
Yeah.
All right, my music friends, it is Thursday. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Ragin' Rob's Music Minute. All right, we're going to start out. It's all Olympic-themed news this week. We got a lot of Olympic music stuff. Starting out with French metal band Gojira. You may or may not know who they are. They're pretty big. I mean, especially in the metal community. I've seen them a couple times. They put on a good show. I'm going to be seeing them in September in Kentucky at Louder Than Life. But anyways, they're going to be performing the opening ceremonies in Paris for the Olympics, which is super cool. Could you imagine a metal band opening the Super Bowl or playing the Super Bowl halftime show? Fuck no, because the people in power think we want the bubblegum bullshit like Beyonce or Lady Gaga. We don't. We're so sick and tired of that garbage. And I guess this year the rumor is Harry fucking Styles possibly playing halftime. Anyways, I don't fucking watch the halftime show anymore. Anyways, go check out Gojira. Also, there are rumors that Celine Dion and Lady Gaga will be singing a duet at the opening ceremonies. Apparently, Celine Dion's getting paid $2 million. Hey, good for her. Go kill it. Snoop Dogg will be carrying the torch for the part of the final leg before the torch is lit at the opening ceremonies. He will also be part of the coverage of the Olympics. So if you've heard anything about Snoop Dogg, he is a riot. So check that out. Hey, good luck to all of our American athletes. We have the best athletes in the world. Go show that these next couple weeks. All for America, baby. And yeah, this is also the gays against the groomers, guys on the show and girls on the show tonight. Fuck yeah, man. I'm all for that shit. What that governor of California has done, sexualizing children and all that shit is fucking disgusting. Every Californian, every American should be disgusted by that piece of fucking shit. This has been your Music Minute. Fucking rage.
We now return to the Fort Show.
Boy, Rage and Rob there.
He was on something. And
Yeah,
hey, I didn't know Gojira was going to be playing for the Olympics. I think that's amazing. I love that band. But there they are. We got everybody.
Yes, everybody is here. Palace and Samuel from the Gays Against Groomers. Is it an organization? What is it, Palace?
Yeah, it's an organization of gays and others in the community that are against the indoctrination, the sterilization, and the medicalization of children, all under the guise of LGBTQIA. I don't even know what the N words are because it's that exhausting. We're kind of at that point where we kind of have to start speaking up about these things because what they're doing in our name is highly inappropriate and it shouldn't stand in modern society.
So, for those of you who don't know, Jamie Mitchell started the Gays Against Groomers in 2022. And Samuel, please tell me why. I want to know this because you don't come across many gay people who aren't into Pride Month, but clearly Gays Against Groomers are not very Pride Month happy, friendly. What's the deal? You guys are supposed to like Pride Month. Rah, 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 rainbow flags. What's the deal?
No, it's actually the worst month out of the year for us because it's the time where we see these people that have hijacked our community and they're just out there doing complete filth, pornography in the streets, exposing children to the most horrendous things. And it's all just, well, we can't do anything because, it's not, we got to be inclusive and we got to show equality and just forget the laws, and safeguarding children. It's a terrible month for us. It used to be wonderful, but it's just not that anymore.
And Samuel, do you feel, and Palace as well, do you feel as if like a lot of gays feel like they're almost pushed into this against their will in a sense to kind of go this route, this extreme into it, and that maybe they're not so there and they're a little hesitant to take on the views and the role you guys have?
Well, it's force teaming. You're force teaming different subsets of people, all clumping them into something that they may not necessarily agree with. When you think about gay rights, what we fought for decades ago, it was really about having the right to marry, having the right to just live a normal life and have those kind of protections under the law. What we've seen transpire over the decades, slowly but surely, they're trying to, it's almost a form of ideological subversion that's crept into our way of life here, especially in the United States, also in Western societies, through the public education system, through the media, where you have this kind of subversive ideology that's kind of tinted in Marxism. I mean, it's Marxism when you really think about it. this kind of trans ideology that's tainted and not necessarily up to public scrutiny. When we think about wanting to have this kind of public discussion, it's immediately shot down for feelings, for being kind. Well, we want to be nice, so we don't want to talk about these things. Well, we've gotten to the point now where in 2024, women's spaces don't exist. Children are being subjected to this kind of indoctrination through the school systems, through the media. And it's something that we at Gays Against Groomers are adamantly against. Not only that, but it's sad to think that we're labeled a hate group and an online extremist only because we want to protect children. They're doing this all under our name, and a majority of gay people and others in the community, they don't agree with it. And a lot of people feel coward. I wouldn't say that people are cowardly, but people are thinking about, oh, I don't want to speak up because I don't want to lose my job. It's a list of things that go along the way, but we're getting to that point where the Overton window is opening. So there is an opportunity coming to where we're speaking up about it. And Gender Trap is definitely something along the way of wanting to be more open about dispersing this into the public. So
but we're definitely out there. I mean, this whole organization is made up of moms, dads, siblings, fathers, like the people. We're out here, but like Palace said, it's that woke mob that people are so afraid to speak out against because you get canceled, and it's absolutely wild that we who should be able to play that card, we're getting canceled in our own community.
Yeah, and what I find wild is, like, from my perspective, is that you guys are level-headed, normal, logical to me. You're making sense, and you're viewed by them as the extremists, where I would see them more as an extreme type. And it's just this maddening feeling of just not understanding it.
Wikipedia has us listed as a homophobic far right. Yeah, and I know Wikipedia is blah, but but that's what's out there. People take a quick look and they immediately have us mislabeled like we're phobic of ourselves. That's the stupidest thing I've ever freaking heard. Like how
never understood it, and I still don't.
And you can let the F-bomb fly, Samuel. I know you edited yourself.
I was holding. Yeah, I appreciate that, brother.
So the book is The Gender Trap. It's in my hand. It's available to pre-order now. You can go to thegendertrap.com. Is this book, Palace, I'm going to go to you. Is this book a declaration of war on the transgender community who targets children? Is that what this is? Are we going to war here?
No, well, we didn't start the war, but you best believe we're going to finish it. We have the statistics. Well, they're all coming out now, but we do have the stories of detransitioners and their parents. That book, The Gender Trap, it's designed for parents who have kids that are going through this monstrosity of a horror show that is gender affirming care or gender ideology. It's also for those that are puzzled by radical transgenderism, like wondering, how did this get into the United States? How did this get into the UK? Like, what had happened here? It's also for those that feel like they're ostracized simply for stating the obvious. It's all just a big freak show. So with Carla Curtis, an amazing writer that has depths of research into this particular topic, it was the perfect fusion between the two, because it was an opportunity for us to really sink our teeth into some real statistics, some real data, and it's very heavily, thoroughly researched many times over. It's something that we're very proud of, and we can't wait to share it with the world, because the world needs to hear about this. And like I said at the beginning, we didn't start this war, but you best believe we're going to be the ones to finish it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're never going to make peace with these monsters ever. And this book has thrown down the gauntlet. It is going to be a roadmap for people to understand what's happening, family members, people going through it, people who are just getting on board and don't know, and they're trying to educate themselves. This is just opening up a library to these people so that they can really get honed in on what's happening and the stats behind it and so on. But yeah, absolutely throwing down the gauntlet. Let's go.
The back here, I just want to read this, the setup here. If you are a parent whose son or daughter is questioning their identity, if you've ever wanted to be the opposite sex because you feel you don't fit in, if you're tired of being pigeonholed into a box labeled this or that gender, if you have ever been silenced just for pointing out this agenda, or if you wonder how radical trans ideology has infiltrated all areas of life, then this book is for you. So, Samuel, how would you respond to people who say that it's all about making children feel accepted, because that's going to be the main point that you're going to hear, or you probably have already heard when you're looking at the trans agenda and everything else. And when they interview drag queens and they interview anybody else, that's always about, we want everybody to feel included and loved and respected. And your thoughts, Samuel?
Would be that how does this book make, how would something, this trans ideology, how does it make children feel accepted? We all grew up in school. You know, it was, we went through the hard knocks of life. We grew through a lot of the things that we were confused about as children. You know, we're ugly, puberty's weird, all this stuff, but we're organically allowed to go through it. And then we come out understanding ourselves better after that. That's what's being interrupted, and it's being done very intentionally. They know that these children are vulnerable, and then you're interrupting that awkward puberty years and telling them that, you know, you're in the wrong body. What they're doing is absolutely what they're saying that we're trying to stop these kids from being safe and that they to be themselves. That's what they're stopping, because organically, and the numbers are there. Like you know, there was a one study with boys who were, you know, trans and dealing with the trans ideology. And then after puberty, like 88% or something, or maybe even higher, were no longer interested in doing any of the puberty blockers or transitioning. You got to let these kids be kids and find themselves. And that's what they're actually doing to the kids, what they're claiming we're doing. And that's stopping them from being happy and being accepted and being who they are, because there's nothing wrong with them. These kids, there's no such thing as being born in the wrong body. It's absolutely, it's if it wasn't so serious, it would be a fucking joke. Like, it really would.
Palace, you have
use
anything?
that F-bomb for you there.
Yeah, I like that.
Good work.
No censoring here.
None.
Well, I just think back to being a closeted gay kid in school. You know, I would have been susceptible to gender ideology very, very quickly. That there would have been a teacher that would have pulled me aside and said, "Hey, do you think that you're a boy?" Because I was a tomboy growing up. So I think about that. So, you know, if someone were to ask me, well, you know, you should let these kids just be. It's like, yeah, you should let these kids just be. Leave the kids alone. Let them go through the process of growing up, because that is part of the human process. When you take that away, you're essentially you're pretty much destroying their life, you know, for the long term.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, like Palace makes a great point there. It's you know, they're doing to these children what they're claiming we're doing, and that's stopping them from being happy and being their true selves. Had I been any intervention at my, you know, growing up period where I was so confused, and somebody had just come to me and said, "Hey, yo, if you just take these pills, if you get this surgery, if you know, take these hormones, all your problems are going to go away. You're not going to feel insecure. You're not going to get bullied. The dudes that you're finding attractive, guess what? Those are going to be your boyfriends, because you're going to be a female now." I would have been so take that hook, line, and sinker, and my life would have been ruined. That's what we're out here saving these kids from. That. Let these kids have their organic childhood.
And I just, you know, Madness, I don't have any kids. Okay. I don't have any. But Madness has two daughters, and Madness, what would you? I mean, you know,
I was gonna put it out there. You know, you guys are ingrained in this and the experts, and I'm just looking out for my two daughters, 10 and 7. You know, getting to those impressionable ages, and you know, I send them to public school, so I know there's a lot of good schools out there, not all doing this kind of stuff. I don't believe, but what can I look out for? You know, what can I look out for? What behaviors can I look at in my kids to maybe see or what can I ask them if they're being told anything in schools of this? And I'll let you answer that, and then I'll ask my second part.
I think one of the things is parents need to use their children as their little secret service people or spies in school. Come home and have a report. What'd you learn today? Let me see the material. That's what we're finding. A lot of these parents are finding this out. They're reviewing what was gone over that week or what the lessons were. And they're like, wait, this is a little weird. And the kids don't really know to say anything. They don't really understand yet how weird it is. So to check in with your children, know what's going on at any time. I think any public school, I think it's the acronym is FERPA. You can request what is going on with your child, both their behavior, their academics, their grades at any time in the school. By law has to give that to you. Parents should be checking in with their children and with their school and with their teachers on a regular basis, weekly.
Right. Absolutely.
In terms of in terms of like what to look out for, because I think you mentioned 10 and 7, particularly girls. I would definitely look out for changes in behavior. Like if it's something, so say you're already on top of it, they're your little Secret Service people like going into the school and like figuring out the curriculum. I would hope that any parent would be as attentive as noting little slights of change in behaviors, because that tends to be something much more deeper. So just being a parent, essentially, just being a caring parent, because at the end of the day, all children need caring parents or guardians. And I think just being present and aware, and then also the other half of that is being vocal and being present at school board meetings, because that, when you're thinking about wanting to nip this in the bud, if it happens in your school district, get to the school board meeting. Don't just hand it off to us at Gays Against Groomers expecting us to be there, because we'll try our best to get there, but we're only so many people. It is up to the parents. Particularly, we love seeing dads at school board meetings, because dads are papa bears. They're going to come in and they're just going to mess things up just to get things right. So changes in behavior and then school board meetings, those are two of the essential things to look out for.
Yeah, and let yourself be known. Your presence as a father, it weighs heavily on how people might try to go about being sneaky, because that's what they're doing. They're being sneaky. They're encouraging kids. This stuff is on the record to lie to their parents about what's going on. Don't talk about these things. So the more of a presence you have, the more chance, and also to the stranger danger stuff. Like, don't let your kids know, hey, I know it's awkward. I'm dad. I'm a guy. You're a girl. It's hard, but there are no secrets between us. Like, you can come to me for everything, and you should. Whenever you question something, that's what I'm here for. I'm your father. I'm the leader. I'm the teacher. I want to teach you, even if it seems weird. Let your kids know that these kids are so afraid to talk to their parents just because of the awkwardness of teen years. And mom and dad don't get me. They don't understand. Right. They've never been 13, even though we've been there, done that. But you got to really kind of have to have those conversations.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And what I'm trying to do is, because I'm, pro-gay, I think they should have all the rights and everything like that. But I'm against the extremes that you're talking about, and waiting until they're older, way older as an adult to do anything in the trans realm, if that's where it goes. But how do we thread the needle, though? Because how do we tell them, hey, it's okay to be gay? At what age? Like, this is stuff, that I always just ponder through my head. Like, where do I go from it becoming like a shaming type thing into like an acceptance type thing, but feeling like I'm not also grooming? I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's just curious to get a take on that.
It should be up to you as the parent, first off.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we're tackling in California, is that those kind of parental rights are being stripped from parents, because now it's all of a sudden magically, teachers now have access to these kids, and they can keep secrets from parents in the state of California because of Newsom. And so it should be an organic process. If you were to have those kind of conversations with your kid, I don't think 10 and 7 are the correct ages to have those kind of discussions. It should be organic, and it's very different for every family. So,
well, yeah, and it is different for every family, because at some time, maybe it's a little sooner that you have the conversation about biology and these things with your kids. But I think, it falls into that same category as being a man. Like, how do I want my children to see that I love my wife? You don't really sit down and lecture them. You show them. And by being a good husband and showing up, and even when you fight, they see you come back together and have the communication and move forward. It's the same way with you out in the world. These children are watching you. If you're a good parent, even if you're not, sadly, these kids are watching you. Show by example. You don't have to have a lecture with them necessarily. If you ever feel it's appropriate because something comes up, pivot and have the conversation. But just by leading by example and being who you are, your children are already watching. They see that my dad's cool with this. Like, he's not going around calling somebody homo this and, the F word that. And so absolutely by example, man, your kids are watching you.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
All right. Again, the book is The Gender Trap. It's thegendertrap.com. So in this book, as it pertains to the trans agenda, there is a chapter about what should happen, which it's very different than what actually happens when you want to do the whole transitioning thing. So, Palace, what's the difference here? Let's give people that are going to read this book a little teaser here. What should happen is much different from what is actually happening, right?
Yeah, well, You pretty much nailed it, and I don't want to give that part away, but I will say that what we're being told through the mainstream media, through trans lobby activists, through the public education system that is perpetuating this, is not exactly what is happening in real time. What we're seeing is that kids can go into a therapist office 15 minutes later after they say, oh, I'm suffering from, I think I'm a boy, and all this stuff. 15 minutes later, they're given puberty blockers. And it's something where we have to reach a major consensus mass publicly about what this stuff entails, what are the dangers and the side effects. And as of right now, we don't have that consensus. I think the big major turning point, well, not really a big turning point, but a big little flag in our sails here was Elon Musk going on record saying, hey, I have a transgendered kid. This is what happened to me. I signed documents, and then they didn't tell me specifically what puberty blockers were, all of these things. So we need these discussions to hit the mainstream, and that's when the Overton window is going to open, and then that's when the floodgates open, when you start hearing from the detransitioners that started to detransition when they were kids, and then going into adulthood and having these kind of lifelong effects from having this kind of gender affirming care. It's not even care, if we can really just be honest here. It's you're mass mutilating an entire generation of children is what this is.
And I would add that that's something that, we need to start saying, like, I'm tired of hearing a gender affirming care. There's nothing caring about this. This is mutilation, sterilization. It's brutal. It's evil.
I'm going to go to you, Samuel. I'm going to go to you right now. So it's very expensive when somebody wants to transition from one gender to another. So it's almost become a thing where it's kind of like it's just big business, right? So who's funneling this agenda? Is it big pharma? Is it the doctors? Is it who is it? Who's behind it? Where's the money?
Yeah, it's everybody. I mean, big pharma for sure. I mean, right now we have bills being discussed in California for these safe houses for these children where it's legal for them to run away from home to get funding for these homes. It's all about the money. Medicare, it was like, when we were going through some of the legal parts of it, it was like roughly like $94 million that were going to to gender transition. Sure, some of that is counseling, and that's important. I'm here for that. But even with that, okay, let's knock off several million. You're still highly in the millions of dollars of state money that's going to this stuff. So, it's absolutely big pharma. It's the state, people's taxes. Like it's crazy. It's all the money. We always say, you pull the money away, this stuff will go. It won't even be there anymore.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The left feels like they would pull something of like, hey, they make them victims. They like to victimize everybody. So they'll be like, oh yeah, the transgender surgery should be free for these people. It's the right thing to do. And that will be a tax hike for us. It feels like that's the route they would go.
It's also, it's also important to note too, and I just want to throw this out there too, NGOs or even specifically socialist or Marxist kind of organizations that have infiltrated the United States, we can see there's chaos everywhere. Of course, they're going to throw transgenderism into this. It's all a concerted effort to destabilize us and ruin this country. That's essentially what this is. And it's happening all through Western societies. And very slowly but surely, the truth is coming out there. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to what is the body count out of this? Because eventually this stuff, like all this truth is going to come to light. What is the body count from this? And that's really what we're trying to tackle as soon and quickly as possible, especially here in California with Newsom signing legislation into laws that strip parents of their rights while giving kids access to all sorts of horrific care, if we can even call it care. But it's a concerted effort to destabilize our country is essentially what that is.
Yeah, and we're seeing through California, the legislation, we're starting to see the scaffolding, and what's happening is that first we know that they want control of children. They want to brainwash their minds to have this woke, idea of life and the way to live. And now we're seeing through these bills that they're trying to come to pass with is that they're going to be funding these homes. So not only now are they taking your children away legally because they can leave at 12 years old, but now they're being paid to do it. So, it's absolutely motivated by the woke ideology and money for sure, tearing down the nuclear family, ripping apart society, destructuring. If we don't if we don't have anything to stand for, what do we stand for, right? If there's no such thing as gay men, what do I exist for? Christian men or whatever, a family man, like if that's all gone, then what do you stand for? Nothing. And then it's so much easier then.
All right, this is the last thing, and then we're going to let you guys go because I know you guys have lives. Palace, I'm going to go to you. The Olympics are around the corner. And in this book, again, The Gender Trap, it's thegendertrap.com. Hopefully I've rattled that off to you people enough. You know where to find it, thegendertrap.com. In this book, it is discussed about men who decide that they're going to be women on a Tuesday, and then they start competing in women's sports and whooping all their asses in all their sports. And you got to imagine the women from centuries ago, from decades ago, who burned their bras so that women could have rights and women can vote and women could play sports, are now being dominated by men who want to pretend to be women to play sports. The Olympics are right around the corner. Should women be embarrassed, Palace, like real women, like women that were born women who stayed women? Should they be embarrassed that men are allowed to dominate women's sports or what?
Women shouldn't be embarrassed. They should be angry, is what that is. Title IX, specifically Title IX, I think it's like less than 50 words. And the current administration wanted to revise Title IX. And now it's 1,500 pages defining what a woman is. Well, not really defining what a woman is, but kind of finagling the language. 1,500 pages compared to 50 words, like less than 50 words from Title IX. So women should be angry. And what I see here now is this resurgence of women being vocal. And women shouldn't be embarrassed to speak up about these things, but we also need the men that also agree with us to also fight for those rights too as well, because the future is binary. It's not a third, whatever we want to calling that. It's binary. But yeah, women shouldn't be embarrassed. They should be angry.
Yeah, if I could add real quick, I agree. And I think men should be the ones that are embarrassed. We are designed by nature to protect women, and we are allowing this to happen. And it is, when these conversations come up, I know I can't personally just take it all on, but it's embarrassing. Where are the men at protecting these women? I mean, that's, again, we're designed by nature to do that.
Let me tell you, this is what I'm waiting for. And it's not going to happen because the WNBA doesn't pay enough. But I'm waiting for LeBron James to wake up one day and be like, you know what? I'm going to be a woman and just dominate the WNBA. But he's not going to do it, Samuel, for $76,000 a year. He just can't.
Yeah.
Let's extend his career about another 10 years because he could probably compete a little bit.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right. It is thegendertrap.com. And just so you two know, Samuel and Palace, I have Carla Curtis coming on the show next month to talk about this book more of a deep dive than what we did tonight. So I first want to thank you, you two, for taking time out of your lives to come on here and talk with us about the gender trap, the trans agenda. I want you guys to keep the fight, and keep doing what you're doing. And hopefully one day we will win. And I want to thank you guys. Seriously, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Later.
This is BBC News, the headlines. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu prepares to address the US Congress amid protests over his handling of the war in Gaza and several US lawmakers saying they won't attend. Kamala Harris says the US presidential election is a choice between freedom and chaos at her first rally since becoming the presumptive Democratic nominee. A poll reveals that almost 1 in 3 Ukrainians would now be willing to cede territory to Russia for a quick end to the war.
You're listening to The Ford Show.
All right, yeah, and we are live right now. Thank you very much, YouTube. Right. We're live on Rumble. And we're also live on X. Again, thank you to Palace and Samuel. Thegendertrap.com is the book. And Madness, I want to change the tempo a little bit. A brand new Barbie is coming out, and she's blind.
I thought they were going to do the deaf one first.
Listen, I'm all for this. Okay? I'm all for everybody feeling like they're included. But the one thing, and you probably can't notice it with the picture that I put up there, but the one thing I noticed about this blind Barbie is she doesn't have the messed up eyes. Her eyes are normal.
She should be wearing sunglasses, first of all. And second of all, I mean, let's be real. Who is this for? This is for blind children, which I think is great. But couldn't you just hand them really any doll and say it's for them?
The line, this isn't the first one. This isn't the only one that is different. I'm being told, by the way, we're not live on X, so my apologies. X.
I promoted that.
Yeah, well, we lied. According to a statement from Mattel, there's another one. Can I show you this one? This one's gonna land me in some hot water. I just know it.
What do you got?
This is a black Barbie with Down syndrome.
What?
Yes. Let me tell you something. Okay. This doll does not have Down syndrome.
No.
I'm sorry. She does not look like she has Down syndrome at all. This doll is dateable. She's a pretty face.
She's not, yeah. I mean,
doesn't have Down syndrome.
Let me tell you something. You can also be adorable and cute, with Down syndrome. Let's not go that route. But no, she doesn't look like she has the traditional features, is the way I'm going to put it.
That's what I said.
Syndrome. No,
yeah, that's what I said.
Well, a little rougher,
basically.
but yes.
Yeah,
yes.
a little rougher.
Yeah.
According to a statement from Mattel, the two newly announced dolls were created in partnership with nonprofit agencies that advocate for those with vision impairment and blindness and people with Downs. Through conversations with members of the communities the dolls represent, the toy maker was able to incorporate details, accurate details, down the number of lines on the Barbie's palms. We recognize that Barbie is much more than just a doll. She represents self-expression and can create a sense of belonging. We proudly introduce a new Barbie doll and black doll with Down syndrome.
Well,
and our Barbie Fashionistas line, reinforcing our commitment to creating products that represent global belonging and inclusivity in the doll aisle. But let me just go back to the blind the blind one. Okay. First of all, where's the Ray Charles black sunglasses? Where's the Stevie Wonder sunglasses? Where's the dog?
They're on her. Aren't they on her head?
No, but they're not black. Those are just regular Barbie glasses.
Yeah, but it's got to go. It's got to match with the. I got daughters. Like I said, it's got to match with the outfit. Still,
I made it a little bigger. Yeah. But no blind person wears cool looking sunglasses.
They might. You don't know who's dressing them. I could see that.
There's just something about this Barbie that doesn't look blind enough to me. The eyeballs are normal.
What do you want to?
Look at this. Look at the eyeballs. The eyeballs are normal. Blind people don't have normal eyes. It's why they're blind.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Look at those eyes. Those eyes are no. Now, granted, a blind person won't see that the eyes are not fucked up. So I guess it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. But
they should have like Braille on her legs or something to like kind of say what's what.
There is a Braille component to this.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. That makes more sense now to me. All right. So like it's a specific doll for the blind with Braille. And yes, you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm not going to, I think it's funny. All right. It's funny, but it's, blindness is not. Blindness is not funny, but whatever.
Barbie partnered with the American Foundation for the Blind, also in the streets known as AFB, to create the Blind Barbie, consulting on the doll and accessories right down to the packaging. The Blind Barbie is the first for the Fashionistas line, but Mattel also introduced a blind doll. They did a Helen Keller gimmick, blah, blah, blah. This newest blind doll comes with a white and red cane with a marshmallow tip and a pair of functional sunglasses. Some blind or low vision individuals may be sensitive to light, explained the creators. The lens provide additional eye protection. Unlike some other models, this Barbie has bendable elbows to allow her to comfortably use her cane. Her eyes are also designed with an eye gaze facing slightly up and out. I don't see it. Maybe I'm blind.
Slightly up and I see it. I do see.
Okay, so the eyes are kind of, but they're not as fucked up as like a normal blind person's eyes. Let's get real.
Here's the thing. Fine, that's correct, but at the same time, you almost can't do it because it's going to look like you're mocking them. Because it's going to be a joke. Because people will be laughing and look at the face of this Barbie. And unfortunately, that's just the reality of it all. And really, you said something earlier. We actually were on with the Gays Against Groomers about follow the money. Well, that's what you got to do here. Do you think Mattel and the folks doing this, they give a shit? No. The more dolls you put out, the more money you make. And they're once again exploiting minorities and people with disabilities for their own profit. That's really what's happening.
Mattel also consulted AFB on the clothing, design, and packaging for the doll, creating a more accessible experience for the children and adults who may be using or shopping for her. Testing with blind and low vision children. I can't wait till the blind person drives himself to Target to buy this doll. Testing with blind and low vision children helped designers to land a sensory rich outfit for the blind Barbie, a satiny pink blouse and ruffled skirt for a strong tactile experience, a brightly colored high contrast hook and loop closure on the back of her top, and elastic waistband on her skirt for ease of use.
Mm-hmm. And, that will be the epitome. That'll be the climax of the inclusion movement in our country and in our world, is when you do start seeing people championing for the blind to be able to drive, the blind to be pilots on our planes, and that we have to be so diversified in every which way that that's going to happen. And you know what? Call me crazy. We'll get there.
And in case you are wondering, the box does have Barbie spelled out in Braille. So there you go.
No, that makes sense.
So you'll be able to Braille your way to your new Barbie.
Very nice. Very nice.
I don't know, but that one with Down syndrome doesn't look Downsy enough for me.
No, it needed a little bit more to fit the bill.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I'm surprised we're not seeing when I should have asked our guests when we're going to start seeing the first transsexual Barbie, although certain other dolls may have already beat them to that.
A transgender Barbie, can you imagine?
Yes, I can.
It's a Barbie, but you have to call him Brett. And he has a penis.
That'd be something else, man. Hey, how come Ken doesn't have a dick? Ken never had a cock. I was always like, my sister had Barbies growing up, and I pick up Ken. I'm like, where the hell is his dick? He doesn't have a dick. Like
package is like it's got like a line through Barbie, and it has like Brett written over the top of it.
Yeah, formerly known as
Let me see, transgender Barbie. Does that exist? I don't think so. Not yet.
No, it won't have. They have to get to a gay Barbie first.
Wait a minute. Oh, no. That's for the movie. Now, it doesn't look like there's a trans... Wait, Mattel's first transgender Barbie designed after Laverne Cox. So, yes, actress and LGBTQ activist Laverne Cox is getting her own Barbie. So I guess technically that would be a transgender Barbie.
I mean, yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Does the Barbie have a penis?
$27. I don't think it does. I mean, it would, but no, it wouldn't, because if she went the whole way he or she went the whole way with the surgery, then it shouldn't have a penis.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Laverne Cox went the whole way. I'm not even familiar who that is.
Ironic that you would go with the name Cox.
It's the tribute. It's the tribute collection. Will also honor Lucille Ball. Boy, I bet you
Ball. You said Ball and Cox. Dude.
I bet you.
Did you plan that shit? You got Ball and Cox. Come on. After talking about all this shit, you're going to throw Ball and Cox together and tell me that was an accident? You know what? I know it was, because I don't think you're smart enough.
I bet you Lucille is rolling in her grave. Also, Queen Elizabeth II was also honored in this same collection.
Jesus. I mean, they're just churning out dolls. These collectors, you got the collectors in every which way, especially Barbie's massive. So they're just.
I don't think dolls are as big as they once were.
No, not as they once were, but I believe they are still collector's items, and there's a big market for them. I'm sure.
I have been in the Barbie aisle or near the Barbie aisle, and it's It's still, well, you walk by it in the store. I'm not going down the aisle. She still has her own aisle. So she's still doing enough. She's still selling enough where she does have her own aisle. She hasn't been, moved in with the wrestling action figures yet. She still has her own aisle. But there you go. So there already has been a transgender Barbie. Unfortunately, though, it's not Brett. It's Laverne Cox. So, all right. Madness. No, I forgot to mention Joey Vegas wasn't here tonight because he's got COVID and he's sick as a dog and he sounds like shit. And I didn't want his shitty audio on the show tonight because it just would have sounded like this.
He would have sounded like he had a tracheotomy. And
Yeah, he's got the COVID, so we wish Joey Vegas a speedy recovery. Don't let it kill you, fat man. Stay alive. Stay alive. And I got nothing else, Madness. You have anything else?
No. I don't have anything else. We were talking about that one graphic of social media users, but we can maybe save that for the next episode.
Yeah, we'll do that. Because that's not going to be old at all. You're right. I did save that. to talk about. I did not put it in my mental run sheet, but we will do it in 2 weeks.
We got it.
We'll talk about it.
I did like speaking with Palace and Samuel today. I thought that was a good conversation to kind of get see the people behind these things because, social media, they just see an organization or a movement or something and they demonize it a little bit. And you just sit down and get to talk to the people that are involved and, get their views. And I agree with where they're going with this. They're protecting their lifestyle and it's being attacked by extremism, much like a lot of people's lifestyles are.
I agree. It's the Gender Trap, thegendertrap.com for the COVID-infiltrated, ravaged Joey Vegas. For Madness, I'm Ford. We'll see you guys next week. This has been The Ford Show. Remember, if she ain't 280, she ain't a lady.
Good night, jabroni marks without a life that don't know if it's a work when you work a work and work yourself into a shoot. Marks.
see ya!